Molly, front right here. Another Brazilian in the UK. I guess it's just this old hat for you, trained, but now here in Manchester rather than London.
Yeah, well, it's just, I think this is Brazilian number 9, and we tend to have really, really good fights, and they always give me the gamest Brazilians to come out of Brazil, so nothing new, lad.
Did you know much about her before they matched you up with her? I think she's traded wins and losses since she's joined the UFC.
Yeah, like I say, I always watch every fight card. She fought my friend Sean O'Bannon last year, and I remember we had not a bit of an altercation in the changing room, but I went in to train, and a corner team asked me to leave because I'm Shauna's friend, so we did, and she got the win, and I really wanted to fight her, and I think she wanted to fight me too.
Did you ask for this fight, or did the UFC kind of know that this was going to be the path?
I'm not making it out to be something more than it was, but it's a fight that interested me because she's game. She's got different facets to her that I'll have to figure out when I'm in there. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And how's life been for you since your last fight? Because obviously fighting in London is one thing, but you and Paddy are going to be, and Tom are going to be massive stars here. Mm-hmm. In Manchester, you've had the show that's obviously been well received. So just what's life been like, just even outside of fighting?
Do you remember when it kicked in for me and Paddy the first time, and the rocket kind of went poof? It's kind of been quite similar. This time, I've known how to handle it. The first time, I kind of little ADHD kid got caught in the lights, all the great stuff that came with the fame, and then had to pay the price with all the negative stuff as well. And I feel like now I'm in a space in my life where I'm very content with who I am, mentally, spiritually, physically, fight IQ wise. I've grown up, so it's a lot easier to take. It's still not easy. It still requires a lot. You do have to kind of be a different kind of person when you're walking out on the street and you're going into social situations that can still be quite tough. But it's a blessed stress to be living this life that we're doing. And if you could have asked me at UFC Liverpool a couple of years ago when I got absolutely filled in by Gillian Robertson and I looked fat, white, dark hair, proper wrinkles everywhere, chipped teeth, if you could say in 6 or 7 years, Molly McCann's going to be fighting in Manchester with her best friend, with all these amazing things that would happen, I'd say shut up. Do you know what I mean? So I'm very, very happy.
Well, you said you're kind of treating this kind of rocket, like you said, a little differently from the first one. Was that a conversation you had with yourself before? Like, if this happens to me again, I'm going to treat it differently? Or did something happen this time that made you rethink it?
I think just my mental well-being was so damaged after... Just before I fought Erin Blanchfield, it was like so much to take in, and I just had extreme burnout. And obviously, like you know, I went to a bit of therapy to try and work through that kind of thing, and I realised like what the triggers are if you're going to start going that way again. So I just know myself more to be like, if I'm starting to feel like that, reacting this way, take yourself out of that situation and not give so much to everyone, and especially something like this whole week. I'm very calm and relaxed. I'm saving the magic for Saturday or Sunday morning.
Does the weight cut to 125 have to do with that too? Because you kind of have to be dialed in a lot more for those 10 extra pounds rather than bantamweight?
Flyweight, strawweight, all the weights. I would always say to you guys, like, I give everything that I could with every single fight, and to make this weight, I found something else, and I feel like you're just a bit more primal. Like, I'm more alert, I'm more concise, I'm more to the point. I'm probably fuming a lot more because I'm a little bit more hungry, but it just makes you a lot more calmer. I think I'm ready for the job at hand.
And there's one that unrelated to this fight. I don't know if you saw, but on November 1st, there's going to be some new rule changes. They're going to allow the 12 to 6 elbows, and they've redefined what a grounded opponent is in the octagon. I'm curious, did you know about that, and what do you make of these new rules?
Yeah, I seen that last night, actually. Me and Paddy was watching the telly, and it came up on our phone, and I'm all game for it. I want soccer kicks to the head. I'd have a good go at it all, you know me. Do you know what I mean? Even if they said we'll take the gloves off, do bare knuckle MMA, I'd have a good go. So, yeah, I'm game.
Molly, earlier today, Paddy did an interview and he said a few weeks ago he wasn't really mentally in this fight and his coaches were thinking about pulling him out, and then he sort of turned it around. Could you feel that a few weeks ago with him?
Personally, this is the hardest fight camp me and Patrick have had outside of our professional career. Just personally, losses and grievances that we've had to go through. It's took a lot, and all I know, when the pressure's on, we know how to pull it out the bag. And I wouldn't say his performance was in any kind of, oh, he's not good enough there, or anything. That was never in question. It was just more, can you cope with what's just happened, as well as having 2 kids, as well as having the pressure of this fight? Molly, can you cope with what you're going through? Is this okay? Blah, blah, blah. And we have honest conversations in our gym, and he's just honest enough to bear that with the media, so nothing but respect for him.
We know you guys are fighters, right? But when you have to deal with the outer cage stuff as well, and you have to go through a camp, it's not happening to you out like when you're not preparing for a fight, it's happening to you at the worst possible time. Mm-hmm. Do you at least take something from it that you know, like, wow, I could still do this, I can still survive this, and I can still get in there and fight on Saturday, and like that proves something to you that you can't really be broken at all?
Yeah, I think I said something with TNT Sports, like, I had the worst start of camp that I could probably ever have, in terms of what went on in my personal life. And I just remember, like, I hadn't slept or rest in a few days because I was just really grieving. And I come in the gym, I'm on 5-5s with Chanel Dyer, on no sleep, crying in between the rounds because I was just in bits. And I got it done. And I was like, oh my fucking God, like, I have got that dog in me, do you know what I mean? And I've seen the same with Patrick. So life can't break us, the weight cut can't break us, the trials can't break us, do you know what I mean? Sometimes I might lose in the cage, but even that doesn't break me.
I mean, I don't want to get too invasive here, and I'm aware of some of the stuff you guys have had to deal with, but are you okay now? Are you happier now?
Look at this face. Look at this hair and these teeth. I'm all good, mate. It's just, life is life, and people go through losses, and it's just about grieving them losses and pushing through. And I think probably the best thing for me was to be in a fight camp, because maybe old Molly might have ended up down the pub, or probably just trying to run away from the pain. But I was sat in my house with my 2 dogs, having to go through it all on my own. And I swear to God, you will see the best me on Saturday night.
When you look back at your appearance for your debut, compared to Molly McGlam we see today, do you wish you could have given her some advice on how to freshen up a little bit? Yeah, Molly McCann. I am where I'm supposed to be. God and the universe has put me where I'm supposed to be at the right time. And was I ready for this then? No, I weren't. What, did I have the fight IQ for this weight and this part of my career and life? No, I weren't. You have seen me grow up in front of you all, for the good and for the bad, and I've learned from my mistakes. And I'm happy with where I am, and it shows to people that you can be a normal person, and you can have the highest highs, and you can have the lowest lows, and no matter what, you can keep on moving forward, and anything is possible.
Just 2 more here.
Is anyone else allowed to speak, or is it just you two?
Just us 2 for now. Just 2 quick ones. In the stateside, we're seeing this kind of big explosion in women's sports. Obviously,
WNBA.
Yes, that's where I was going. Obviously,
Angel
UFC.
Reese, let's go.
Have you kind of seen that translate over into now more interest in women's MMA? Because obviously you guys have kind of been on the forefront of like sports in general with the men, but within the last 6-7 months, it's kind of taken to another level stateside. Yeah,
do you know what? A couple of years ago, when we had that mad night in London, and I won, and then I feel like Katie Taylor beat Amanda Serrano, and then England won the Euros in the football/soccer for you Americans, and then March Madness happened, and then Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and it's just like women in sport are starting to really get the respect they deserve, and it's good to see. It's positive. It's nice to see that men can bring. What I've noticed, I obviously support Everton Football Club. I'll go and watch the women, and you see dads who get the kids on a weekend, or our full-time dads take the kids to the match because it's something that they can do with their sons or their daughters. So it's nice to see that the vibe's a little bit different at a female sport event. It's a bit more empowering and a little bit less negative.
So it's great to see, and it's nice to see the girls getting paid.
And last one, can I get your thoughts on the main and co-main for Sunday morning?
I think, I'm not disrespecting either fight and all the fighters, but I would love to see Leon win TKO. Sorry, Bilal, but he's our boy. And I think Tom and Curtis, it's going to be a finish. I don't think it's going to 5. And I think Tom is probably going to get a submission win.
Well, I just want to ask you about the TV show you recently did. You put yourself out there. It can go either way sometimes when you do that. What the reception been like since it's aired?
Like, in all honesty, since my fight in February, I haven't received much hate in my life, which is quite mad. I think I've been as vulnerable as I can be to the world, and it's paid me back tenfold. I think people have just seen me a little bit more of the authentic me, as opposed to the sound clips, the sound bites that the media will put up of, like me drunk or eating with Paddy somewhere, do you know what I mean? But the city's really got behind us. I think we've made the city really fucking proud, and I'd like to say the rest of the country as well. It's boss to make where you're from proud and put them on notice, do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, and just one more from me. You're settling into a new division now. When you're looking up the rankings, you're looking at the champion and the challengers. What do you make of your new home?
I'm not looking past Bruno Brazil.
Molly, you mentioned about the highest highs and lowest of lows, and when we look back at that first half of 2022, those back-to-back spinning back elbows, it was an absolutely amazing time for you. And then after that, what you've overcome since then has been incredible, and starting the year off with a bang back in the win column. Can you talk about how much you've grown as an athlete and as a person due to those circumstances?
I feel as if I was quite nervous fighting a grappler in the high weight division if they were really outsized me, so I was somewhat petrified to make a mistake. But at this weight category, I feel like I don't need to carry that negativity with me. It's just only focusing on myself and me improving my skill set. That's a wonderful place for a fighter to be. The pressure I feel is only getting bigger with the TV shows or with the more notoriety and with being on a pay-per-view card. But I'm at the age now, and I'm at the part of my career where you'll have to correct me here, but I don't know if this is fight 12 or 13 in the UFC for me. So there's no more lessons to kind of be learned now. It's going, reframe a fight week to coming in and just enjoying it, having fun, not wasting my energy. And it's my job. I used to think being in the UFC was just the prize, but it's not. It's working up them rankings and it's working towards the belt. So until I'm there, I'm not.
After those back-to-back spinning back elbows, did you feel like you were getting addicted to the knockout and those viral moments, and are you craving that again this weekend in Manchester?
I'm not craving a finish. What's going to come is going to come, and I think that was the difference. I'm lucky that my last 3 wins have all come by a finish, and I feel as if when something kind of clicks, it clicks. So I used to have to chase the finish at the higher weight because they were too big. So I'd have to engage and force the interaction because I was too small. But being at this weight, even though I'm still fucking smaller than everyone, it's not like 10-inch difference. It's like 3 or 4 inches, which is like, it feels like it's the same range for me. So I can take my time. If I'm taken down now, I'm the same size and strength as what they are. And the reloads that we do. So I remember when I fought like Julia Storyolenko, there was 20 pounds difference the day that we weighed in as we was making the walk to the cage, whereas the last fight it was like near enough the same, do you know what I mean? And then you could see that in the performance. So I made a rod for my own back in the beginning of my career, but we're here in the end.
You know, you and Paddy have both shown you can go out there on your own without each other being on the same card, but do you feel a lot more powerful in there knowing that Paddy's going to be fighting after you and all your teammates as well on Cage Warriors tomorrow night too?
Yeah, I feel as if it's my job to make sure I don't send to Z West. So I can't go out and lose first, do you know what I mean? I have to win for myself, but we are that close, that would rock, yeah. And you see that with like the New Zealand lads and the Australian boys, or even some in America. It can be, probably can be a bit upsetting, but we just bring something else out of each other. And like when I trained yesterday, honest to God, I was just on fire, and then he was like, right, I've got to level that up, do you know what I mean? So it's a positive, we're just pushing each other towards greatness. And then after the training sessions, it was mad last night, we came back into the hotel room and like Embedded came on, and you used to think this mad, right, because obviously our faces everywhere, but we was like, oh my God, we're the Embedded thumbnail, do you know what I mean? And then we was just lying in bed and put the telly on, and then BBC One was on and our show was on. I'm like drinking Guinness like this and his face is like that, and we were laughing our heads off. Paul Rimmer even put it on his Instagram yesterday. But I don't know how many more fights anyone has, do you know what I mean? You could have a life-threatening injury in the octagon, but to know that I've definitely got one more with him, and it's in the Northwest, and we're getting to do it together at the most content and the highest level that we can be. Look at the shape of us, do you know what I mean? Some fucking shape. So it's just boss. The changing room's going to be fucking boss.
Final question. Molly,
When it best be good, lad.
when it comes to Saturday, Sunday night, how do you plan to tackle Saturday? Are you planning to sleep all day and get up fighting fit, or how do you plan, or just lots of coffee?
I've changed my sleep like the last 2 weeks. I've made to stay up till after fight time. We've been doing like acclimation work to make sure that we're staying awake and we're working through. The body's going to do what the body's going to do on Saturday. If I want to rest and sleep, then I'm going to do that. Before we go to the arena, I'll probably have an all black everything drink from Applied Nutrition, and then just go and handle shit, lad.
Thank you.
No problems. Thanks everyone. Have a nice